this is B from Sorcery Soap, and I just got my second order of prototypes of stencils in this last week, and I wanted to show you some of them and what they look like. And because there's so many, I'm getting a little confused of what was the first order and what was the second order, but I'm pretty sure this is all part of the second order. So we have this, and I'm going to show you at the end. I'm going to put a collection of all the little stencils, the little short stencils I put together, so you can see how they work. But this one is the book stack, which I'm really pleased about. And the other thing that I'm really starting to be interested in is combining different stencils. So that's why they're set to the side, because I'm going to do this. And it takes a second because you want these to be a little bit dry before you put this on. Otherwise, if you push on this, it'll lift off. Anyway, I like the idea of creating stories and scenes and creating an idea with soap, as a lot of you know. Anyway, so yeah, so this one, let's see if I can find it real quick. I don't know if I can. Okay, here we are. This one actually has 3 stars in it, so it should go like this to suit this. Now, in a perfect world, you just put it on your soap however you want it, right? But I didn't want the star in the center because his head's gonna fit there. If otherwise it would have covered his head, and I didn't want that. It looked like he would have a pointy head. So obviously I just stenciled here, here, and here, and left that open. And I'm very pleased with this. I like the idea. So I'm working on this one. I'm going to put a different raven on there. And that's, I was thinking maybe that guy. I really like that raven quite a bit. I like the detail in his feet. I like the perspective of him. And then of course the book stack, I thought that was cool. So now I'm starting to theme my soap so that when I offer them, that they're, you know, I could say they're all ravens or they're all this, and they might have varying variations of them with a crystal ball on here, but they're all going to be like a raven. So this is one of the other. I really like this hat. This took a minute to make. The stencil, not the soap stencil on here. It takes hardly any time to do this, but it took a minute to design that one. And this, I'm very pleased with this too. I really wanted all the details to come out of it, and then not to be too fiddly. I mean, that is kind of a consideration. So I'm hoping you can see some of these on, let me see here. So this is the stack. I know it's crazy, right? But I really like working with this supplier. They're just, my contact there is very thoughtful toward me and toward what I think is our needs for this process. So anyway, these are, and if you could see the water stains on here, it's like me testing the test. I've tested these many times in this material, which is a little bit thinner. This is a little bit stiffer, and they're so much better when they're a little bit stiffer. Not that this is a bad thing at all. It's just that, boom, done, right? Anyway, so these are the dragon pair. I got a lot of requests for the dragons, and I tested those, and those are very, so it even says dragon pair in the corner, like I've said in the past. That so, and then there's stars, which these are also very, I mean, you could put these on a soap and be perfectly fine with them, and then different colors of stars or whatever, and then they also can go any which way like this. So that I'm starting to see different patterns and different possibilities with. I have a rabbit. I'm calling him the white rabbit because of Matrix. This one is I was really unsure about it. It's echinacea, and I've made it before, and you might have seen it where I mica'd the green stems, and then I used fuchsia mica in here. That was from TKB, the fuchsia, by the way. And it really popped on a gray bar. It just looks really nice. And I've gotten requests for botanicals, particularly from Joe from Australia. Jo Hausler. She's does the natural colorants for soap, and she's written a book and working on her second one, which is awesome. Anyway, so yeah, this I just stenciled, and you'll see in the video after this video, I stenciled white on a brown bar, just seeing what it would look like. Looks great. So that is another option for discoloring fragrance oils, the bars, and then stencil on top of them. So then there's something, you know, because I know I've used fragrance oils that discolor in the past, and my colors just turn out muddy. This is the leaf. This is the house leaf, I called it. I have a house and a house leaf because this one could be a little bit more fiddly. Not terrible, but one of them's, well, you'll see it. The cauldron right here. Let's see. Oh, it's across the room. Anyway, I just stenciled the cauldron on here. I think it's in the video at the end. This is a flying dragon. I'm so pleased with this. It was, you know, a bit tricky. I had to go through quite a few processes in order to make sure that the pieces weren't too thin and everything sort of worked out, and so the movement was still there, and you could tell it was dragon. So this one of my favorites. Again, same situation. I was thinking about putting a break here, but I just didn't this is a little fiddly, but it's so much worth it. And all you have to do is stencil this way and then take it off this way like this. So that's really not that big of a deal. I think the design overall is way better this way than having a break in the tail. So, and then of course we got some of these, the duck ones. I thought these would be much more sort of generic to come for the first few of the tracks. I think they're fun and they're easy to do and they're quick and they tell a really quick little story. And then we have a gecko, which I'm very happy with. His little feet, and there's just enough of his foot that makes it look like he's actually dimensional. So this is going to be interesting, and I haven't done this yet, but to make a shadow of him and then to put him on top, I think could be really interesting. So I'm sharing my ideas with you all. There's a little tiny snail, which I love. He's so adorable. Because I have a sea life collection. And there's the cups icon, and this one, it's very similar. Like, so you have the inclusion and the what's the word? The inclusion of the positive and negative space here to connect all this out. And so I was thinking, well, maybe I'd make a whole bunch of, because I call this literally cups. Let's see, where does it say that? It says right here, cups, because what I was thinking is making icons for tarot. And as I got into it, I was like, well, I can do the king, the queen, the icon for the tarot. I have to recreate a night one because the one I've created doesn't work. And the crystal ball, it could be representation of that. So anyway, instead of making them for tarot, even though I call this cups, because this could be a King Arthur theme, it could be a lot of different things, I just decided that I'm going to call them icons instead. So there's that. And then we have, let's see here. This one's the goat tracks. I thought the goat tracks would be more generic. Again, lots of people use goat milk in their soaps. There's a little bit of cardboard on here. These are the horseshoe tracks. I'm just reading what it actually says here, so I know what they look like. And these are the sheep, which I really like the sharpness of them. Okay, and this one, look at that. It says pine tree large. It's very lovely. I was thinking something like this, right? And then you could decorate the tree actually on your soap with little balls or colors or a host of different choices. So, but you already have the tree on there, because I've struggled with Christmas trees at Christmas time, and I really like the Christmas tree idea. I just like it. And anyway, I thought that would be kind of cool. I hope lots of people get, oh, here's a small Christmas tree or a small pine tree. I really like the shape of this one too, and I thought that these could be used together to make overlays like this, to make a forest. So, and there's just so much I haven't done. There's so much I haven't done. So you know, I've tested all these out, lots I've shown, and this bird is one of my favorites right here. That is just spectacular. I would put it on here, but I'm committing this bar here. Wait, I could do this bar here. I'll put it on here. Oh, I have soap there. So, and then I've said this in the other video, but if you make a mistake, just start over. So you can just scrape it off and start over. It doesn't matter. So there's really little pressure to. So the wings right here. So the stencil goes like this, right? And so what you want to do is go with the stencil, not away from the stencil, so that you don't put soap underneath the stencil. Oh, I better put my glasses on. Otherwise, I won't know what I'm doing here. And essentially what you want to do is tack it down first so that it just doesn't get all movie on you. Okay. We don't need very much. Where's my water here? So I'm just going to put a little water here. And I just do that to soften it up to make sure. So if your soap dough isn't soft enough, then what will happen is it'll drag and you'll get white marks on there and it'll lift off of your soap. So it just needs to be soft enough to do that. I remember in the beginning of making soap dough, I was just like, oh, it's too soft, it's too sticky, this, that, and the other. And I was just wailing to myself, and now we've overcome that. Now we're doing all this other stuff. Okay. See, and it just smooths those lines out as soon as you put water on it. And one of the things too, and I said this in other videos, but it bears repeating, but you know, where the details are, when they become, when it's a little fiddly, you really want to just make sure that there's not too much soap around it. There. And then what I do is try to just wipe the lines down, and there's enough ridges in your fingers that it pulls it, and then it becomes smooth, because we want that sort of magical quality. Now because I'm on the camera, I want to make sure it comes out, so I give it a little spray with alcohol. I don't always do that. I sometimes just forget and just pull it off, and it's not a big deal. It'll come off, but I want to ensure it. So there we go. That, just super pleased with it. Like, so here's the other thing with the stencils is that I'm not offering stencils you can find just anywhere. You might find some of these images duplicated other places, because if I can buy them, other people can buy them and use them for other things. For example, I bought a collection of dogs, so you have to buy the copyrights to them. And I mean, some of them are ridiculously expensive, and there's a whole set that I'm thinking about trying to create, like draw myself. Anyway, so I've purchased the copyrights from some of these are free use. I contribute to different communities with my photography. In the past, I have hundreds of thousands of downloads from my images, so I know that I've contributed to the community. So I've taken those in trade. I've taken stencils or silhouettes from them, and people offer them freely for free use. And so I've altered them and modified them in order to make stencils. Anyway, because I felt like I understand, what we're looking, well, I understand what I'm looking for and what would be best use for a soap maker. So, you don't want something too tricky or too fiddly, and you want something, for me, I want something that's going to make my soap bar unique. I don't want to just copy everybody else, but I also don't want to have to think it up myself every single day. I want to be able to like go through my list of stencils and go, oh yeah, I could do that. Or I can combine them. I can put two together and have a whole different theme, So, and then here's the other part that I found interesting. So let's just say your soap business is about birds, or you have some bird theme in your soap business, and you find a stencil that you really like, and then you can put that on every single bar. It doesn't have to be the theme of your bar, but you could create the theme, and on the backside put your bird. So there's an option too. And it doesn't even have to be the exact bird in your logo. It could just be a bird to indicate. For example, I made pineapple sage soaps, and I put a bee on in the corner of every single, a little gold bee on every single bar. Just a reminder that behind Sorcery Soap is me. So anyway, so just so many thoughts and so many ideas that are on their way. And so that bird, I'm very pleased with him. We've got a little doe. I thought it only fair. I have a buck, I have a doe, and I know there's a handful of people that, well, I don't know. I've talked to a handful of people that are in my sphere of influence of Sorcery Soap that hunt. So that's kind of cool. And then, okay, there's this guy. This is the one with the buckle. I really like that. Okay. We have a tree frog, which I think you've seen. So the tree frog is really fun too, because you could do the same thing as the gecko and put a shadow underneath of it, or even paint a shadow. You could put the stencil on it and then paint the shadow afterwards. And what I did was I stenciled the whole frog, and then I put gold at his feet and made the top of him green. And you could do the opposite in order to create a shadow as well, or create, you know, reflection, whatever. So here's the queen, and the king has more on top, yes, of course, but they're stereotypical of, what is the word, archetypes, and these are icons, so we're going to leave that. And then there's my crystal ball, and this bird. Oh, super pleased with this bird. I made one and I stenciled them gold, and I didn't even know. I just put this, I was, you know, testing all these micas from TKB Trading, and I put this gold on here, and he just pops in every time I see him. My eyes are super attracted to him. And again, I love the dimension of these silhouettes. I mean, that's quite difficult to achieve. I mean, we could just do flat, right? This is a flat hat, right? But there's a buckle on there, and so it kind of gives you an idea, and this could be painted inside and all that. That's cool. But then to have the movement in the story of the stencil, that's more like, that's a little bit more sophisticated, and I really like that idea, and that's kind of where I'm starting to go with this stuff. So more cats. I have a cat laying already, but this is a different type of cat laying, which I really liked. I thought more cats, better cats. Yes, everybody likes cats, dogs, bats. Just, I have two different bats, so I wanted to offer two different styles of bats. Squirrel, it's called Squirrel 2. I just thought he was cute. I like squirrels. There's an acorn coming too, so that helps. My quarter horse, which I've already offered, and those sold out, so I thought I'll do it again. Because you know what? Quarter horses are cool. Some of my favorite horses I've ever met in my life are quarter horses. And not all of them are that pretty, honestly. They're not. They have a straight neck, and they just stand there, but they're so quiet and wonderful and quality. They're not flashy like the Arabian horses, or, you know, show-offs like the Tennessee Walkers. Not that they're meant to be that way or whatever, but there's a couple types of horses that I really like. Gypsy Vanner's one of them. Icelandics are another. I rode some Icelandics up in Durango one time, and oh, I got it to toll. I never rode English before, so that was a big deal. And then I got it to toll, and it was smooth and beautiful and almost made me cry because it was so perfect, like the moment of perfection, truly. So anyway, that was awesome. Yes, I have an affinity for horses. Okay. And then this lily, I'm very pleased with this lily. And there's so many choices with this lily. Like, again, the other flower, you can, you know, stencil. I stenciled white here, a little bit of gold for the center, and then I don't know if I put green, but I think I put a different color for the stem and the leaves. And just so many. Donkeys are awesome. Another underrated equine. Donkeys and mules, awesome. I grew up with a donkey named, of course, Eeyore. And this cat, I just love this cat. I love how thoughtful it is, how like it's focused but still calm. Another cat, because cats are awesome. Dimensional again, so it looks like there's depth to it. I'm very pleased with that. I had, and here's the thing, I'm influenced so easily that when it comes to this kind of stuff, if I don't have any resistance, somebody said they wanted a hawk. Okay, here you go. Here's hawk. One person. And I made all these stencils. But I thought if one person asked, other people might be interested. And I love hawks. There's a pair of hawks over on the abandoned golf course that we like visit every day. And we've watched them, you know, come together. They're mated hawks. Wand and stars, and the stars can be used for other things, and it's like a fairy tale. So on one side you could use this, on the other side you could use the fairy princess, which I have coming. Anyway, yeah, so we see the hawks every day. There's the books, the book stack right here. I was just so pleased with this. As anybody knows, books are beautiful. So happy with this. Here, I'll show you what this one looks like again. Oops, the other way. I'm just so pleased. Imagine that, like you made a soap for your, well, there's very few librarians in the world now, but your teacher even, your teacher's friend, a scholar, somebody who enjoys books, to get a soap with books on it. I mean, to me, that's very thoughtful, but anyway. Betta fish. Yes, betta fish. And I just think it's beautiful. Okay, I'm just very happy with the betta. And then, of course, we have goldfish, right? And we have a sea turtle. And scary pumpkin. I think this is going to be so fun for Halloween. I'm very excited to do this. I want to do just like, obviously, the easiest thought with this is a pumpkin's maybe, or what am I looking for? Fall. I was going to say holiday and fall at the same time. A fall scent, right? And I know exactly which one I would use. Fallen Leaves from Candle Science is beautiful, and it's discolor, so you'd have to use black, but you could stencil orange on here, right? Or you could do orange bars and just stencil black faces on them. Or you could do orange bars and stencil gradations of yellow and orange inside of the eyes. Oh, so many choices. I'm excited by that. Of course, my cauldron. I really like the iconic look of that cauldron. That makes me happy. Another bird, which I love, the blue jay. When I did the blue jays a long time ago, the cardinals and the blue jay soap, a lot of people had memories of blue jays about their parents passing, and then feeling connected to them after the passing because they saw a blue jay. And so I thought this could be helpful. And I call it blue jay, and it could be, if you stencil it red with, you know, a little black mask, it could be a cardinal too. So I don't know. I have two cats. This one is a cat stretching with its nails coming out, and his tail is curved, and the other one has a tail this way. And I just think cats are, you know, there's a lot of people that like cats and dogs, and so I wanted to appeal to that so that I have, I mean, granted, it's so hard to pick what everybody will want. You just can't. You can't please everybody, and you can't say what every single person will want. So I'm cultivating curated ideas of stencils that will work with soap, which I hope to have amass such a large collection that you can find something, and then you can keep coming back to the library of them and find something that suits you, because, you know, we grow. We want cats one day, and then we want something else another day, or we'll go, oh wait, a cat with a crystal ball. Oh, that would be cool, right? You know, I mean, anyway, so the cat, again, dimensional, easy to stencil. That's the other thing too, when they're just smooth like this, they're super easy to stencil. No fiddly parts. And of course, a dog, a Labrador standing. Labradors are just awesome, and they're just awesome dogs. So there you go. And then the last but not least, the pug, because why not? I grew up with my aunt and uncle had a pug named Moose, and I never really liked pugs because of the snorting and stuff that they do. Their snotty nose sometimes. But this pug, Moose, he was a character. And now the funny thing is they had many pugs because they, you know, get old and die, and they were all named Moose. And they had like Moose 2 through 3 or 1 through 3. They just loved naming their pug Moose. So that's what they did. And so you never had to guess what the dog's name was. It didn't matter what year it was, what age it was. It didn't matter. I just thought that was funny. Anyway, so there you go. And then I'll show you how I've stenciled some of these. And I hope if you have any questions, and you get to see this whole list of all the stencils that are on their way, and they've gone to production, and I'm working on the third order, which the third order is going to include more things like, wait, did I submit? No, I submitted the third order. Haven't got the proofs of those yet. Fourth order, more things like Mama Duck with the 3 babies, which I find like interesting story in and of itself. And I just showed some pictures of the flock of birds, the birds on a wire. Those are going to go in there too, so there'll be a lot more of that type of thing. Anyway, so there you go. I know this went on at length, and then I'll wrap it up, and then you can see the other videos that I did. Okay, have a great day. Thanks. Hi, this is B from Sorcery Soap again, and this is an additional video from the original Patreon video that will be posted. And I mentioned these stencils, and then I started looking around and realized I don't know what I did with them. So I might be getting a little ahead of myself on things. I'm gonna try and slow down with the ideas for a bit and organize myself. And I dropped a few words today, and no, I'm not getting dementia. I just am tired, I think, and I have a lot of stuff going on in my head, and I've been doing a lot of things. So anyway, I will continue. So I mentioned some other bats because I had in the first posted video, I had these other bats, the icon bats. Let me see if I can find them real quick so you can see the difference. And yes, I have lots and lots of ideas, and sorting through and organizing means I might need to hire an assistant someday. Just to say, I'll keep creating, you sort and organize. And my guy has his own thing going on, so he's not the person to do that. Oh, here we go. So these are the 2 bats, the 2 different types of bat stencils. These are more iconic and sort of Batman-like, and these are the flock of bats. And this is why the woman that I work with at my stencil supplier is so awesome, because I just ripped off an email saying, I don't think I got the proof for the bat group, and I can't find it, and I gave her all this information, and then I have to write her back and say, my fault. Yes, I totally have them. I just misplaced them because I'm a dork. Anyway, and she just takes it all in stride. She's like, yeah, I don't know what she thinks, but she's awesome. We've talked on the phone a couple times, and she has a great personality, a great countenance to her. But anyway, so these are the bats, and these are really fun. And then I said I had a house leaf. Oh, and here's the echinacea again. So let me get to that. Oh, so here are not that one. Here are the 2 houses. You can see this is the traditional house, which I really like. I liked them both. That's why I wanted them both. I couldn't settle on one. I figured, well, it's better to have choice. And since I already worked them out and created them, maybe you have a bigger bar and you want a bigger house, or this is just a tick smaller, not much. No, actually, it's about the same size. It's just a little bit different shaped. So anyway, there you go for that. The botanicals. The other dragon. So there's going to be 4 dragons. The circle dragon, the flying pear, I think 4. Am I right? See, I'm getting ahead of myself again. Let me find those and you can see them all. Here's the pear. And here's the circle. Oh, yes, and the curved. Yep. Okay. So we have the circle dragon, which is quite awesome. Sorry, I'm not on camera. Circle dragon, curved dragon, pair of dragons, and then the iconic dragon, which I call him Dragon 33 because it's not how many designs I made, it's just what I happen to call it. Although I did make a ton of designs. And let's see what else. Oh, And then we also have a husky this time, because I got some requests for the dog husky, which I really liked. And I discovered this is a little bit too big, and so they're going to make it a bit smaller for me so that it'll fit. And the goal is to fit on the smallest bar of soap so that it'll suit every other bar of soap. Anyway, so, and then there's that. So that's all good. And anyway, this is just an adjunct, so you can see all the stencils, and you can see, let's show you this. I'll show you. These are 2 of each. So I think there's 55 here, 55 designs, and they're 2 of each. And that's just 2 of each. So yeah, we did some stencils, and this is only the 2nd order. I have a 3rd one in queue right now, and I'm working on the 4th. So when all this is done and said, we should have just shy of 200 designs of stencils. So you should be able to find something that you really like from these unique and curated stencils. So anyway, that's what I wanted to clarify. Okay, thanks. Bye.